It is unbelievable. Whipping here.
This old job is always causing stress.
I'm tucking the truck here.
All I ever do is work. I don't get no rest.
Man,
I
got
got
some
the
video
first
footage.
night is on the way.
Crazy. Let me see if I can get outside.
Down in trouble walk.
You just wouldn't believe how much rock in the truck is. Oh shit.
Oh, red truck donkey IPA. Let that magic mango chase my blues away.
We're in the eye of Ada here in Key Largo.
Among my friends.
Tremendous
I swear the page goes live again.
coming in. Currently. I'm semi-protected here by my truck, so no worries. But semi-protected. I don't want to get the camera wet, but man, the trees beside me are completely sideways. I'm not sure what the gusts are, but definitely this is the tropical storm. I think we're seeing a little higher gusts. I got the back turn right now, and trying to keep the camera from getting wet. We're in Key Largo. We're in the eye of Ada.
All right, everybody, what's up? Thursday night. Who's dancing? It's okay to dance, even though you might be stressed. That's our Thursday tune. I love it, right? That was tribute way back to Troubled Waters when they did a beer, and it was released on my birthday back October a couple years ago. That was a cool memory, meeting a lot of fans. And having a beer. So what's up? We got Louie on my lap today. He came up first. He's excited to be here. So let's say hi to Louie. And we're going to talk about Lee. No stress right now for Lee, please. We did a live last night. I know there's a lot of stress right now. We have not had a long track hurricane in a long time. We're going to be watching this for over a week. We've already been watching it for a week. Hard to believe, right? So I'm going to try to get all that covered. Go over the latest models. All the overnight models are in the 00Z models. I got a couple new website link alerts, Shelly. We got another system behind Lee. Nothing that appears to be affecting anybody. And guess what? Peak season's 3 days away. What's up, Cassidy from Bonita Springs? I'm heading down to Boca. Hey, I finished that calzone last night. We were at Tampa Bay Brewing Company. If anybody's asking, oh boy, I've already been to the bathroom 3 times a day. It was so good. Richard Castro, good morning. Intermediate advisories. That's interesting, Ricardo. I don't know if they might only issue intermediate advisories when, I don't know, when we have Hurricane Hunter data, or maybe if they're affecting land. That's a good question. William Strunk, good morning from Hobe Sound, Florida. Brooke wants to know the number one question. Florida, it is crack your eye sideways hangover alert, meaning very, 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 very times a million worry right now for Florida. I know everybody's bringing up past storms and we never stop talking tropics, but right now I'm going to show you some trends. The only folks really worried at this point is Bermuda. And, of course, the East Coast, New England, Mid-Atlantic area watching. And then, of course, obviously Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. So the trends are turning. It's going to turn. We're going to get into all that. Jason Strong, good morning. John, there you go. Since it's not close to land, that might be what I've heard before too. So thanks for that, buddy. Good morning, Richard Reamer. Original Conehead. I got to fix the Conehead link. Oh, I forgot. I'll remember that, I guess. Bill, good morning from Destin. I love Destin. We camped there by St. Andrews Park. Alice, we camped in Savannah one time. We're camping Cedar Creek, was it? I don't remember. Cedar or something. We were there during St. Patty's Day. Good morning, Amanda Beck. Billy. Borland. Almost like my name. Boylan. Good morning. Another from Savannah. Another Jackie. Sunrise Fire Rescue. Brian. Mac, don't mention Mid-Atlantic. Okay. I don't know what to think. Yeah. The A-Bear box. Stephanie Croker wants to know. Eggs, we're playing at Lynn or Barry U. I can't remember. I think Barry University maybe. We're playing a scrimmage. And then we're playing the Michelle Smith tournament here Sunday. She's going to guest play, so I'm excited to meet Michelle Smith. Big follower of our page. Gil from Melbourne. Used to be called O'Galley. Daytona is my favorite place to be. Katie in Niceville. Mike from West Chase right down the road. We used to love Salt Rock, but not anymore. Yeah, my buddy's passed out, Tracy. I know. He just loves it. He's just like comfortably numb. He's the most chill dog on the planet. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hey, one thing quick, since it's on my mind. You know, we get a lot of people, our app, if any subscription canceled on the app, it says you're blocked. And sometimes accounts get expired. I get that all the time. Why'd you block me? It's the app. The app blocked you. And I usually delete the old account. You can sign up again. Everybody writes me back, oh, thank you. So I started thinking that during Idalia, you know, and we couldn't figure out why a couple people said that. And I'm like, oh, it's the app. The app defaults to say you're blocked when your account expired. PayPal, one of them things. So I don't have any control over that. Some people write me some pretty nasty emails. Why'd you block me? I didn't. Your PayPal expired. It's the app. It's telling you that. So, Julie wants to know, what breed are you? Frenchie. He's a chill dog. Oh, I love him so much. Let's talk some weather. All right. So, anyway, our daily brew. This is I'm just a hobbyist. I'm not a real meteorologist. Props to the real Mets out there. I'm just a hobbyist. We do this daily brew all the time. Brought to you by our great friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Not to be confused with TBBC. My little Sarah gets so confused now that we got two sponsors with BC in them. ABC, TBBBC. So, but you can buy TBBC at ABC. But anyway, great friends of mine, the whole management staff, they really support what we do, so big thanks to them as always, and that's in the great state of Florida here. So let's look at the latest graphics. All right, so this is the biggest overall picture of the National Hurricane Center. We still don't know what this little guy is doing way the heck up there. I mean, that's like Antarctica. So, yeah, whatever. The guy behind Lee is Invest 96. You know what? The chances are up to like 80, 90 now, I think. I'm not 100%. So we might be having another system next to Lee. Reminds me of Idalia and Franklin. So that's been on the radar for a while. And what kind of influence is that going to have? No one really knows. Might be a high pressure built between the two of them. High pressures spin clockwise. So, you know, down the road, whenever Lee gets to, let's say here, we're going to have a high here, we're going to have a frontal line here, and it should accelerate unless there's a blocking high here. That's the big question mark. And look at all these little things here. Like, what are all these little things? Well, it's a John Madden football chart. But anyway, that's the big picture. Invest 96. That's it for now. That's it. Long track. We have not had a long track hurricane. I don't know when the last time we've tracked one of these. Everything pops up quick lately, right? It seems like, boom, we got a big storm to worry about. These long track ones we haven't had in a while, and it stresses people out. I know it does. I see it. You see this cone, and you're like, oh my God, it's going straight northwest. But it's going to turn. You got to trust the models. I mean, yeah, we watch every update and every second, but we got to believe in the models. Believe in spaghetti models. I believe. Never discount spaghetti models. When we had Florence way out in the Atlantic, we had a split of models. We had some going this way, we had some going this way. When we had Sandy, we had some going land, some going out to sea. Right now, we really don't have any going into Florida. So that confidence is very, 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 very low. If we had a bunch of ensembles and stuff, I'd say, hey, the weather pattern's changing. But there's high confidence right now that this thing's going to stay north of Puerto Rico. I know Shelly said we had a lot of Puerto Rico fans yesterday. It's going to be a big system, so you could get some tropical storm winds. I'll show you that. But it's going to be far enough, at least north of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, that it looks like maybe tropical storm force winds and obviously big winds. But this track's been pretty solid. The turn's coming after Tuesday. Supposed to be a major hurricane within the next maybe 12 hours. We're already seeing an eye. An eye is starting to develop. Looked like dry air was wrapping around it, but you can see it's trying to close off actually. It looks like we might have an eye developing. But major rapid intensification is expected. The NHC is calling for this to be 155 miles an hour hurricane this weekend. So doesn't happen very often in the Atlantic. Some of the high intensity models are showing a pressure under 900, which would put it on record pace for strength. So that's what we got. Paul says the hurricane hunters are going in today. Great info. I'm terrible about keeping up with that, so thank you for that, Paul. I'll do some research on when they fly in. Once the hurricane hunters fly in, they start getting coordinates, and they start getting true center. They start getting information out ahead of it. They start measuring steering currents, high pressures, humidity. We know it's going to be strong. So at this point, everybody's worried about is track. So I get it. Everybody in Florida is scared to death. That's just because I have people that live here, a lot of my followers. But I remember watching Dorian and the anxiety with Dorian. It was terrible for the Bahamas, but obviously nobody believed it was going to turn, and we're going to get that. We're going to get that anxiety. There's going to be panic in the air this weekend. I can feel it. I know it. It turns into a major, and that cone doesn't show a turn. There's going to be so many people hyping this thing up that you're going to be like, oh my God. So let's just trust the models. They've never let me down yet. Mike, I can't tell you if you should cancel, but so far Puerto Rico seems far out of the major impact zones. Connor has a great question. We're going to talk about the strength. So there are modeling showing this thing's going to start to weaken as it goes north. So if it does interact with a front to the west and the high pressure, to the east, there will be some shear upper level winds. The biggest thing I can see is the cooler water left behind by Franklin. So we've showed that a couple times, but cooler water could be a big reason this thing weakens. Now remember, Sandy was a Category 1. Not comparing this to Sandy, not saying it's going to be a Sandy, but don't get wrapped up in the category strength. Every storm's different. This is going to be a big storm, pushing a lot of water. Sandy was a big storm, pushing a lot of water. Even though it was a Category 1 at landfall, big storms push a lot of water. So, Connor's got a wedding. You got a wedding. Everybody say, way to go, Connor. Timing, Connor, sometime following weekend of the weekend. We'll go over that here in a minute. All right, so let's talk about it. Kevin, I don't think it'll be a record. Wilma Was it Marie? I can't remember. There's been a couple of them under 900. I'm not really sure. But hey, yeah, everybody congratulate Connor on getting married. Connor, will you be thinking of weather on your honeymoon? I hope not. It's okay. Weather is an addiction, right? All right. Let's do this. All right, so I found 2 good sites. Let me show you these sites first off. Nope. Let's do this. Let's do all the models. That's how we used to always do it. Let's talk all the big models. We'll go to Tropical Tidbits, and then we'll look at the ensembles. Okay, so we start out with Euro, my number 1 favorite. Now, I posted yesterday a really great graphic that was put together. I'm going to have to leave this up for the well, I'm just going to have to leave it. I know there's a great graphic that showed track I don't know who did the best track during Idalia. Came down to 3 actually. The UK, which we found out late last year, it did probably one of the best tracks with Ian. UK did really good with Idalia, and also the H-Mod is a hurricane-specific model. Now that doesn't go out very far; it only goes out like 6 days, I think. Those 2, and then there's a new model that I don't even look at. I'm going to start looking at it as I did my homework. It's called the KMA. It's a Korean model. So those 3 did really good with the tracks of Idalia. I just wanted to point that out. GFS did the worst, which we kind of just know. And the Canadian did better. All right, so here's the Euro. It has trended north of the islands and slows down to a 9/11 hurricane early week. Most all of them are showing that turn. Here's that new system beside it. We're not going to worry about that one. It's supposed to stay out to sea. High pressure is going to build between the 2 of them. Kind of like Franklin and Idalia did. Weird how history repeats itself, right? BOGO. Actually, it'd be BOTO. Buy 2, get 1 free. I don't know BOTO. I always tell Julie BOGO, right? Buy 1, get 1. You always, if you buy 1, you get 1. BOGO. It should be BOGOF. Buy 1, get 1 free. Not BOGO. Buy 1, get 1. Because every time you buy 1, you get 1. All right, so the Euro is passing. Let's focus on Bermuda for now. It's passing west of Bermuda. The difference is this. Yesterday, it was camped out right here on Wednesday. This is Thursday. Watch what happens. The high pressure isn't very strong. Here comes the front, and it goes smack dab due north, almost into Maine. Definitely into Nova Scotia. Little trend west again from yesterday. Now, I've never seen the Euro this far off from run to run. Here's yesterday's 12Z. 10 days out, stops it right there. This is a week from Saturday. Saturday the 16th. This is the Euro showing high pressure. Look at the difference in the upper level pattern that the Euro is predicting. High pressure. Slowing down, blocking our system. It's been consistently showing that. 2 nights ago, same thing, high pressure. But then last night, high pressure's gone. So a big question mark is what happens with that front line coming. And that's what every meteorologist is telling you, is there's a lot of uncertainty a week plus in how strong a frontal line is going to be this time of year. If that front's a little weaker, but this has been the theme all along. This front right here, if it's weaker and this high is stronger, then it might have more of a push west. And there's ensembles now I'm going to show you that are showing that again. So, but there's the latest Euro. Timing would be there Saturday. Still pretty strong. 958. That's still a strong hurricane. I know this is, so many people focus on where you live. Oh, it's a fish storm. Why are you talking about it? Well, trust me, there's a lot of people that live in New England. A lot of people. A lot more people probably live up there than here. So, you know, it's going to affect somebody. All right, so there's that one. All right, let's look at the Canadian. Canadian model, not too bad. It's been trending a little bit west of Bermuda. There's Bermuda right here, keeping it saying west of Bermuda. This would be Thursday. All the models have showed a general slowdown. And the NHC has depicted that on their 5-day cone. Turn is still coming Wednesday. Very consistent. Here's our new Invest 96, and then here's that spot I mentioned yesterday. The Euro's kind of backed off, but it's still there. And Canadian pretty darn close to the Euro. Getting awfully close to Maine, Nova Scotia right there. And this would be the same thing. Saturday, a week from next. Not this Saturday, a week from next. GFS, I don't want to show it. I'm so glad that meteorologist put out the graphic about Idalia. It did the worst on track. So, you know, I don't know. It's kind of consistently showing the same thing. And then that's really all we got on all these other, like HMON. It's really consistent, great track, but only goes out 6 days. But what I want to show you is this. Where we're at now, look at the size. It's going to be a very large, expanding hurricane. HAFSA, say it 10 times. Look at where we're at. Like, look at the size of this thing. It just really gets large. I mean, huge eye wall. And again, it's staying north of the islands, so, you know, I know the cone is close to y'all down there in Puerto Rico, but this, you know, at least the trends are just to your north. You know, might get a few rain bands spinning around, but that's pretty far north. All right. How wide is Lee at the moment? Well, Jason, currently it's little. Very little, but you can see how it's going to expand. We'll do a measurement here in a second. So that's been the theme. The turn's Wednesday. All right. Let's look at that Korean model, which I was surprised I've never even paid attention to, and I've seen actually I've seen some people posting it. I'm like, why are they posting the Korean model? And then I did a little homework and found out it didn't really do that bad last year. So I might include it in our top 5 and slowly lose the GFS. Oh my goodness. All right, so here's what it's been showing. 00Z. Pretty close to the islands, 975. Somebody just asked Virgin Islands. So again, you know, you're close. Obviously, it's going to be windy waves. Timing here is this weekend. Not a direct hit, but obviously boaters, sailboaters, people vacationing will be watching this. You know, I wonder if we got a radar simulation on this one. And we have 3-hour precipitation. So you kind of get, so, you know, they're, you know, here it is passing by this weekend, Saturday. Puerto Rico, maybe some rains. This would be more like Sunday, Monday, Puerto Rico. And it's doing the curve off of Carolina's coast, splitting that gap between Bermuda and the Carolinas. Obviously, we know it's strong. I'll just leave that up. Actually, I want to go now to I want to go to the East Coast here, because now we're dealing with a whole different area. And it's kind of keeping that same theme. So we got a lot of model consistency that this thing is obviously following history. Really close to New England, though. Very close. Could be merging with the front. Like I said, the Euro's still showing 950 range. That's still pretty strong. 950 range still technically is a Cat 3. So I hate I hate saying things like weakening because Cat 3 to New England is still serious. So I don't get wrapped up in it's going to be weakening because the Cat 3 is still serious. In fact, here's the pressure 950. So even this Korean model showing a 950 pressure, really close skirt, too close for comfort, and then in the Nova Scotia there. Timing the same the following weekend. So we got a lot of model consistency, at least today, that this thing is turning. Obviously, northeast, mid-Atlantic watching the most, if for United States goes. Continental United States goes. But it's an interesting model. Latest UK, then I got another way to look at the UK. I'm going to show you some new stuff I got to show you. The UK doesn't really go past 168 hours, but starting to do that turn Wednesday. So, if somebody asks about Florida, we might have to say, what? A couple days ago, the Korean model actually had it hitting the East Coast, so we gotta. Somebody says on TikTok about they're all gonna merge. I know we joke about the Cat 6, but unfortunately, people believe it, and there's panic. We try not to spread panic, so no offense, but a lot of folks don't know what to believe, and there's a big discussion in the weather community, like, oh my God, what's happening? There's so many Mikes out there now that think they are like Mike. Mike likes to hype. That's so real meteorologists and props to the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center. They have to deal with so many people spreading information, and people believe anything. So my goal in life has always been put out all the facts, show trends, throw in a little thoughts and history, and drink beer. So Courtney wants to know if I'll be chasing. Well, 100% I want to. I don't know if I'm going to drive, though, because that's a lot of miles on my truck. I got a new drone showing up tomorrow. I have to. I got a new drone. I'm so excited about it. I bought a real one, professional. So, a couple things I'm worried about is a lot of hype that it's not going to affect. It's going to be a fish storm, and I hate that word. Weakening, because the Euro and this Korean model still showing Cat 3. I don't think there's been a lot of Cat 3 storms hit that area. Sandy was a Cat 1, so it could be something very serious. That's why every meteorologist that I'm following is saying the same thing. Pay attention closely. So what I want to introduce to you now. This is what we call, oh God, from Shelly. Mike's got new links. And I'm going to show you them right now here. I got to click a button here I didn't have going on here. So, here's the new links. All right, so we got two new links here for Lee. Lee detailed model plots. And Lee ensemble means. Those two, if you click these links, you could probably stay home from work and look at them the whole day. I could spend a whole day showing you what I'm about to show you. One of them we showed yesterday, and I added it to the site now, and then the new one I want to show you now. So, I love ensembles. So let's look at ensemble means first. Lee ensemble means. We click on this. Brand new site. This is from a gentleman named, I don't know if it's Tomer or Tomer. I apologize. We showed this stuff last year. Last name Berg. I got his stuff linked in the upper left, but he's added some things this year. If you remember last year, Noah had a blended ensemble map that they don't have anymore, and I was so sad, man. It was like, I was very sad this year when I couldn't find my know a blend map of ensembles, and I found this today. I have not seen anybody share this today, and I was like, oh my God, it's exactly what we were missing. So what this is great. So you can play around with it. It's fun. Tim just said a TikTok link. I don't know that one. So Ian, what's going on, buddy? I just saw something. Oh no, there's something happening with my buddy Ian over there in Jamaica. Sorry, man. I missed the comment. We're a big weather family. Ian's a longtime follower. Oh, he lost your mom. Man, I'm so sorry, buddy. It's tough. We lost Julie's. So anyway, all right. Here is the cool new site. I love it. You can change colors. You can actually change things to make it easier. So this blends in the Euro, the GFS, the UK, and the CMC. And what I did this morning was, we make the Euro red, let's say, and you could do the ensemble mean, which I love because it's the average of the Euro. So the black line is the average of every ensemble of the UK, the CMC, the GFS, and the Euro. That averages them all together. There's what you got. The average of the Euro mean is the dark red with all their individual means. You could take off, change all kinds of stuff here. GFS, let's say we don't want a GFS. You could get rid of them. There's GFS. You can change the color of the GFS. Let's say we only want to look at GFS. So we click on GFS. And let's change the GFS to green. And we'll do the ensemble mean on green. So there's a GFS average. On the UK, which has done probably the best, we'll make that blue. And we'll do the ensemble mean in blue. Now, the UK comes in a little later. I think we have a 6Z coming out soon. But you can see the UK has definitely been trending a little bit more west. And so far the UK has probably done the best with the track so far with Lee. But it's important to note, and let's go ahead and do the Canadian. We'll make them orange. No, let's make them purple. I don't know why. Just because purple's purple. Purple. And there's purple. All right. So there's your four big players. There's all their ensembles, all their little brains, and they're all showing a turn. So there's high confidence this thing's turning. That's the point of this graphic. They only go out, I don't know how many hours they go out. Probably 7 days, maybe. This only goes out 7 days. But it's really cool. I love it. We have a lot of, I don't know why the UK is having this thing go way over here. It's kind of messing up the mean a little bit because of these outliers. But I have a lot of fun playing with it. Yeah, so there's a UK, all the UKs right here. And it's a wide range, but anyway. So it's a cool site. You can also go back to the main page and click products and hit my model guidance. Whoops, excuse me. Tropical cyclones. Click on Hurricane Lee, and there you go. You get all kinds of stuff here too. This is a blended look at all the ensembles, kind of showing you how they are very consistent in the next several days. The blue is kind of like the eclipse of all of them together, kind of showing you how the confidence level is increasing of a turn. So there's, this is all to show that turn is confident. Again, in Bermuda, the trend is a little west of you. Still too far away to know. Past 5 days is rough. Dylan wants to know, why is the storm not turning? Well, it is turning. Well, basically there's a frontal line coming down, and there's a high pressure that's going to kind of the high pressure winds, kind of clockwise winds of a high pressure system, going to start steering our system a little north, and there's going to be a frontal line coming in towards next weekend, which is going to allow a pull to the north. Anytime there's an approaching jet stream pattern where the jet stream comes into play, the jet stream basically allows upper level winds to accelerate our system to the north. So as this jet stream comes in, the winds are going to pick up, allowing this thing to lift north temporarily. Some models are saying, because what we got to worry about is then if a high builds back in and it kind of runs into a roadblock, and this is classic Sandy. What happened with Sandy? The high came in across, and then we had some models going this way and we had some models going that way, and that's not happening yet. But everybody's cautioning to not. There's no guarantees this thing is going to go 100% out to sea yet, based on some of the long range modeling. But there is a frontal line coming down, which allows us to get lifted north. Pretty fascinating. Jet stream, upper level winds, accelerates our system. So there's that cool sight. There's other stuff. Dylan wants to know what's letting the storm continue as. Well, there's a high pressure currently over top. And as a matter of fact, if you've noticed, a lot of these models are showing a little bend here at the last second, then going north. There's a high pressure it's riding along right now, and then a little push at the end. So we're seeing a little bit of turn before the turn north. So you can, your upper level winds, you can see it really cool on the Windy app. Kind of gives you an idea of what's cooking here. The 500 millibar kind of shows you a little bit, the steering patterns. Eventual tug to the north, but it's all upper level steering. There's a really good map here, upper level steering. Usually, it didn't do too good with Idalia, but there's a upper steering map here that's kind of showing you generally. Now this is pulling out, but high pressure to the north, definitely steering our system, not to the islands. So this is very deceiving. I probably shouldn't show you that. That high is gonna slide over a little bit and allow this thing to cut the gap more. But again, here's the latest spaghetti models. These just came out. I meant to show them earlier on. They get posted right when we go live, 9 o'clock. So there's your latest spaghetti models on tropicaltidbits.com. We're seeing this little last second bend here that I just showed, but then a turn. So we have to be confident that this thing is going to do that. Getting awfully close to the lower Bahamas, though, I will admit. I would definitely be watching close if you're down in the Bahamas. So, what site's that? Oh gosh, I put a link here. So, detailed model plots and Lee ensemble means. The one I was just on was Lee ensemble means, and that goes to that page, and then you can go back to products and hit tropical cyclones and see some really cool stuff. A lot of stuff. Too much stuff. There's the latest 12Z maps on his site too. And that, HAFS, you got to be careful. So the HMON in the UK did very well last year, and they did very well with Idalia. HAFS did not. And these are the two HAF. So the general trend is more with that turn. These two are the HAFS. So you kind of got to be careful. Here's the GFS, the worst the worst one of the bunch, and it's obviously the outlier here too. So far the HMON and UK have been the best. All right, another site. Let's look at the model plot site, Lee Detail Model Plots. So let's go back to Tropical Tidbits real quick. So these come out at 9 a.m.-ish Eastern every 6 hours. So the next run will be 3 p.m., 9 p.m., 3 a.m. But there's that turn happening. This is 7 days out. Remember, the endpoints here, the endpoints are there. So in 7 days, when you're looking at Tropical Tidbits spaghetti models, this is the end of 7 days right here. And you can see it's getting awfully close to Bermuda, but staying west of Bermuda at this time. So if you're curious, that's the end point. You can see the hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 96, 120. That's when the thing is start. Anytime a tropical system starts to turn, it's going to slow down. And when it slows down, it's reacting to the changes of the upper level winds, and then you'll get a turn. And then likely a little more acceleration to the north. So it is expected to weaken some. Remember, I hate using that word weaken, but I want to show this is very fascinating to me. We'll just use Levi's site since we love him a lot. But there's your water anomaly map. Dark blue is the cold water that was pulled up from below the Atlantic. We had Franklin out there, and we had other systems too, but all these systems pulled up a lot of cool Atlantic water, so the water temperatures are actually cold in the Atlantic. So this will luckily help weaken some of a potential Category 5 hurricane. 155 mile an hour is the expected now, which is borderline 4 or 5, right? So the good news is the other storms pulled up upwelling cool water from below the Atlantic, and this is showing up perfectly. So when you hear about upwelling, there you go. Cold water pulled up from below the surface. You can almost see here too some of the waters that back down to normal where Idalia went, and that was because Idalia intensified to a 4 strong hurricane last week, and it pulled up a lot of these warm Gulf waters. The difference with the Gulf is we have the warm Gulf Stream here, and it does not take long for the Gulf to warm back up. So that won't last very long. So if you're watching in the Gulf, we always talk about it. This time of year, October, is where we really focus on because we get a lot of systems this time of year. The Gulf will still be hot because of that Gulf Stream waters. Okay. So long time to watch. Oh, we're going to click on this page. Okay, so this one is the other page. This one is Lee detailed model plots right here. What's cool about this one is you can click on so much, but basically the same thing. Ensemble trends, there's your GFS ensemble trends. I was joking with my buddy Dennis Phillips this morning. There's a couple GFS models here that are actually pointing towards Florida. I'm like, I should get clicks. This one right here. One Lone Ranger. And there's somebody out there in the world that's posted that one Lone Ranger and getting a lot of clicks. But I'm not going to do that. Obviously, that was just how silly some of these. Because I think I saw somebody already sharing that model online, and I'm like, oh no, man. And then I saw the comments, and people are going fearful. But this is your blended GFS. You could do the same thing, which is really cool with the overnight Euro. It tells you the official NHC track in the dark black, kind of where the Euro's at, where their ensembles are at. And yeah, there are some going a little more west before the turn. That's why we have the NHC cone here bubbling. Now I had somebody, maybe this somebody is, I'm trying hard not to answer to anybody trolling me. But I did a post yesterday talking about this dip here, this little dip, how it's farther to the south. And that was in relation to the fact that the Euro and the UK and the Korean model were showing some ensembles going down here below the NHC cone. These are your European ensemble lines from overnight. And you can see there's some going a little farther below the NHC. Somebody's like, oh, they always do that. Well, they don't always do that. If you look at archive, just showing you, the archive for our system did not do that originally. When there's confidence in day 4, day 5, sometimes that cone is a little tighter. And we didn't have that little bubble. Look at that. We didn't have that bubble. But then we start getting a little bubble. So the bubble is because there's error on day 4, day 5 with modeling. Cool site, right? UK, since it's in the news as being accurate, this is their current track in the dotted line, and it's almost exactly in line with the official 5-day NHC that goes out 5 days. Canadian overnight, got them weird ones going off, but overall, on track. So, but it's a good site. You can click on all kinds of stuff. Here's the last several runs of the UK, starting with 9.4, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9.7. Colors get darker the more recent runs, and you can see, good consistency. But then down the road, the UK has been a little more with that consistent northwest turn. So I like to look at stuff like that, trending. This is a cool site, too, that talks about the absolute error with wind speed and direction. So the way to read this one, this is awesome. Brian Tang is the name of the gentleman that makes this site. It's Albany Education. So thank you, Mr. Brian Tang, for creating this. This is telling you 48 hours out, 24 hours trending out. Basically, you look at the lowest colored bar chart, and the spread and error obviously is from the National Hurricane Center official track versus what they predicted. Currently, the UK is winning on track. Now that could mean a lot down the road. We start getting closer. Unfortunately, 7 days from now, if this thing is skirting the possibility of landfall on the East Coast, we'll have to say, okay, well, the UK has been trending good. The UK did really good with Idalia. The worst one is the H-Wharf, which we already know. H-Wharf, awesome for intensity, terrible for track. H-Mon, not doing as good as... So look at the Canadian coming in second now. And Euro second, actually. Euro, you can never go wrong with Euro. UK number 1 right now in track prediction. Euro number 2. Look at that Canadian model, man. I've been talking about the Canadian model for a year now, and it's getting better. Canadian hanging on third. HFSA is not doing very good way up here. Navy, forget about the Navy. I don't know. Navy's awful. And GFS right here. So it's pretty much, that's a difference of almost half too, if you think about it. UK is within 50 miles, or kilometers, and the error with the H-Wharf is like almost 150 miles. So this is a cool graph. Everybody always asks me which model's doing the best. Takes a little bit to read, but So anyway, if you're into clicking things and like stuff like this, you can look at intensity trends along with track trends. If you like to waste time like I do. So, let's look at the European long-range ensembles now. This is where it gets interesting. So first off, I wanted to bring this up. Look at this. Northeast has been a story all year getting storms in the Northeast, right? We've had high pressure blocking the south. Little frontal line coming down. This is the second front. So it makes you think the front is going to definitely be a big player with Lee, because we had a front pull Idalia up. Here's another frontal line. Fronts are getting into the picture, and fronts do historically pull and bend systems away from the continental U.S. This is a frontal line today with storms. We got the same thing tomorrow. And I put online the irony of this same area could be watching a hurricane next week. And they're dealing with strong storms today and tomorrow from that approaching front. A little bit's going to linger into Saturday for extreme northeast. But I want to show, let's go to weathernerds.org. And we're going to look at ensembles. Let's zoom in really close here to, not there. Let's zoom in to here. Oh, that only goes one way. Let's go to here. Well, what the hell's going on here? I can't really do it. Well, yeah, I could if I did it here. I mean, all right, this is good. Right? We'll do this right here. There, boom. It's because we can make our own box, and then we can do tracks on. So let's do loop, and it's going to start playing. This is weathernerds.org. These are all of your European ensembles developing their tracks. I can make it a little bit smaller, maybe. There we go. Keep the logo in there for him. The gentleman's name is Matt. So anyway, Yo hell, what's up, buddy? O Delgado, good morning. Lord Andrew, how's it going, buddy? I never dreamed Damn Andy 95 that the Canadian would be good. It used to be nicknamed Constantly Making Canes because it was awful. Now it's done really good, which I've been seeing that trend develop over the years. Kind of get a gut feeling. A-Bear box, Courtney wants to know. We'll show it here in a second. I think the A-Bear box would be interesting. Right now it's a little north of the A-Bear box. It could possibly miss the A-Bear box. Craig, Nova Scotia, you'd definitely be watching a week from next weekend for sure. Many models have this thing still in the 950 range. That would be a category 3. Fiona last year was terrible for y'all. I don't remember what the size was when it got there, but this could still be a 3. Laura wants to know about the Carolinas. Well, it'd be irresponsible to say be careful because there's really no anything yet. Yesterday when we had that blocking high pressure system on the Euro and it was stopping, that would be where I would say, okay, we have a possibility this thing could get turned a little more west, but we have to trust the models, we have to trust trends, and right now there hasn't really been much to worry about. You know, even when Florence came off Africa, we had a split of models going out to sea and a split going, and I shared some Irma tracks that had a lot of splits. There was a lot of confusion. The confusion right now doesn't seem to be anywhere South Carolinas. It's all north as of now, International storm chasing. I don't even know the difference between a kilometer. I'd be so confused. Kilometers and millimeters. I had to report the rain in millimeters. I get yelled at all the time. What's up, Julie from Tampa Bay? Rachel, Maryland. Yeah, 100% watching. Jose has a great question. I used to hear that a lot. I don't see it as much anymore. Stronger storms are so much dependent and influenced by upper air, jet streams. It's just they don't really win the battle with jet streams. Maybe a wiggle, maybe a wobble, but rarely have I seen a strong system once it's moving. Difference is there's a high pressure. That's what happened with Irma. When we were tracking Irma, we had a high pressure. That year, the story was the high pressure, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, pushing Irma more west. High pressure grew, and it was showing on models as growing, so there was always that, high pressure is building, pushing our system farther away to the west. Big question mark we had yesterday is high pressure building here with this little guy here, but that's the question that everybody's going to be asking. So, Katie, as long as they sell Doritos. All right, so storms are going to merge. Are you see? Nope. There's this thing called Fujiwara effect. I'll probably mess that name up like I do everything else, but smaller systems get absorbed by larger systems. This is definitely appears that we're going to have the same effect with Franklin and Idalia, with a big enough distance between the two to almost create its own environment. High pressure dips in and separates the two. It's kind of like fighting siblings. They don't want to. The high pressure is like mom and dad. They're going to keep the two apart. What was it? Gert got absorbed by Franklin. I didn't even pay attention to all that stuff. But yeah, it just happened. But it didn't do anything. It didn't create a monster storm or anything. So I need to make this video. Netherlands, hey, welcome, Maybelline. You got to love that 50s song, Maybelline. Maybelline. Oh, Gulfport, Mississippi. What's up, Sarah? I chased Zeta up by you. I am on TikTok. I love TikTok. As a matter of fact, I did one just a minute ago. I don't know how in the world TikTok spreads. There are so many people on there. It's incredible. So the video I did this morning has already got 39,000 views, and it only was like not even an hour ago. So the reach on TikTok is just unbelievable. I mean, last night's video, 125, 140, 271. I had one with 1 million. So I keep it real. I have to use a little bit of clickbait headlines. I hate it, but that's the only way to get people to watch. So I try to be careful. I try to do clickbait with facts and question marks. Like, if I did one that had a line pointing to Florida and say, Cat 5 heading to Florida, then I would clarify it right away. But if I had one that said, no way in heck Florida's going to get a storm, nobody would watch it. All right, so here's the latest thoughts on the European ensembles, and very high confidence. These are, and here's your other system that's already showing a bend away. Because see this high pressure. This is on Weather Nerds. I love it. This is your high pressure. So you're going to watch high pressure kind of end up between these two. This is the parent separating these two. But we're already seeing whatever forms out here almost bending away a little bit. But high confidence on the Euro ensembles. This timing here would be next Tuesday. So today's not even Friday. We're going to be watching this thing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 5 days of no turning. And then it starts to turn. So we have some turn a little earlier and faster. Bermuda. This is next Thursday. Wednesday night, actually. So middle of next week, Bermuda is definitely going to be watching close. Some of these European ensembles are continuing to go west. And then I was focused over here now, like what, maybe they are going to merge. No, they're not going to merge. So as the Euro shows a turn eventually coming, middle of next week, then we have to worry about this setup here. High pressure builds in between these two systems, and we're starting to see possibilities of the East Coast. The main operational run of the Euros into Nova Scotia as a potential Category 3 the following weekend. But let's zoom in a little closer to the New England area to show you the Euro and what it's showing your way. Hasn't Hunter done so much better breathing? Can you all believe it? We've had Hunter now, 3 years easy now? Remember how loud Hunter used to be? We were afraid we were going to have to get that nose surgery for Hunter, and he does good now. He breathes really good. A little bit of asthma, but nothing like it was. All right. So here's your European ensembles. All right, so they usually stop 10 days out. This would be a week from Saturday. First member starting to reach Nova Scotia as a 963. You know, remember the pressure readings I have on my site. 963, borderline 3, borderline 2. Category 3, category 2. This would be Saturday. Now we're going to start to see a little slower ones popping in the picture. But there's a bunch of them. 9:59. This would be following weekend, not this weekend, the next. So you can see why in 10 days, or this is actually, what is that, 8, 9 days? You can see this little bit of trend here. Quite a few of them, you know, bumping a little west. That's why everybody's just telling everybody northeast, you know, just pay attention. There's no guarantee on anything. But that's a long way away still, a week plus. But, you know, we saw the Euro trend west, 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 west. Yesterday's 12Z went a little east. Everybody's like, ha, told you. And guess what? Windshield wiper back west. So, too far away to know, but I would definitely be watching close in the northeast. And that includes Nova Scotia, obviously. And we have a lot of people there watching too. So that's that. You know, there's a lot of them that go out to sea. But we'll see if this trend continues. All right. Lance, what's up, buddy? I'm sure Bermuda's watching like a hawk. So Jim says he's from New York. Well, appreciate that. We'll get a whole different group of people watching for sure. Remember, this thing could be big. Like, it's really showing. Let's let's zoom in on some size, what it's going to look like as this thing grows. Euro does a really good job with simulated radar, which kind of gives you an idea of size. So look at that monster, man. You can't tell me this is Saturday morning. If this is what the satellite's going to look like Saturday morning, and it's going northwest, you know, there is going to be so much hype in southeast U.S., Bahamas, Florida especially, that this thing isn't going to turn. And, you know, you can only trust the models so much, but as of now, it looks like it's going to turn Wednesday. But this is what it could look like. Category 4, possibly 5. You know, just missing the islands. But look at the size of this thing. I mean, that's bigger than Florida. Look at that. This thing is going to be a monster. Massive. I mean, close enough that you could, you know, we could probably see bands possibly. And there's that front that picked it up. But we could possibly see bands in, you know, East Coast. This would be next Wednesday, Thursday. So you can see that next frontal line. Very strong signature of a frontal line right here. This is that frontal line that's the big question. So I brought this up during Idalia, and since we've already seen a cold front that was pretty cool. I mean, we had 60s down in middle Florida. So if the season is starting to spit out cold fronts, then it could be believable that this cold front is going to be real and it's going to pull our system north. Question always is how fast is the high pressure build back in after it. So back to the questions of what's making this thing turn. It's the jet stream. It's the cold front. You can see it on satellite here. That's lifting our system, pulling it northward. Of course, the question is going to be, you know, when does it turn? So according to the latest Euro, even without a direct hit, the latest Euro is showing potentially major impacts for the Northeast as it gets awfully close. And it's still predicting a Category 3 hurricane as it goes off almost hitting Maine, Nova Scotia there. So we'll see what the afternoon models run. Let's see what the radar. We'll see. This is the wind field. Kind of shows you. I mean, you know, strong, even without a direct hit. I mean, that's a pretty massive wind field right here. Heading up towards the northeast. I mean, you guys are used to, you know, nor'easters and stuff, but there's a little bit different with tropics, with surge and tornadoes, warm, you know, core system, squall lines. But to me, that's still too close for comfort for anybody on the East Coast to just say there's no way it's not going to not do that. You know, there's Bermuda, there's Carolina. This is Thursday of next week. The UK model doesn't go out that far for tracking. HMON doesn't either. Canadian didn't do too bad. The Canadian's trending a little bit more towards Bermuda. The Korean model is trending a little bit more with the euro, a little bit maybe to the east a little bit. All right, well, we did. It's already been an hour. Holy moly! So, Vicky, I'm thinking Maine. Big waves. I mean, we showed the wave chart. Check this out. Let's look at the wave chart. We haven't looked at the wave chart yet. Wave chart is incredible as this thing approaches. Look at these waves. Already showing 80-foot seas north of Puerto Rico. You're going to get winds and waves, no doubt about it. We know that. Any passing storm to the north. But this, I mean, it's definitely going to interfere with people going to Bahamas next week. Even without a direct hit, these ships can't dock when there's big waves and winds. So, as this thing grows, I mean, we got 94-foot seas. 99! Have we ever seen 100? I don't know. 99.5 foot seas, wave height, which is going to push a tremendous amount of water towards the East Coast. Even without a direct hit. Places like the Outer Banks, you're going to see some incredible winds. These are going to start picking up. This is the same as yesterday, about Monday, Tuesday. Here's Tuesday, early morning Tuesday. You're starting to see some of these. And the little arrows point very nicely to give you an idea where they're obviously coming from. The yellow starts to get there Wednesday. Orange is about 10 foot plus next Wednesday. Dark orange is about 18 foot plus. Red is about 20 foot plus. Purple could be touching the Outer Banks on Friday next week. And then, of course, depending on where it goes, I mean, it's still 101 foot. Showing 101 foot wave heights right here a week from Saturday. Tremendous. Even without a direct landfall, there's going to be coastal impacts. Yeah, and we've seen some of those big waves in the New England area. My buddy Brandon Clement does some amazing videos showing that New England issues. So that's it. Been an hour. I bought some Halloween stuff. I got my mom's yesterday. I put a picture in the Brew Crew. I got my mums out front. Bought a cute little Halloween flag, no, fall flag. It's got like a Frenchy butt and a pile of leaves. Looks like he was a witch, and looks just like Louie and Hunter. So that's pretty cool. I put a little fall stuff out first, and then I did go all in Halloween, and then I put the fall stuff out after Halloween, leading up to Thanksgiving. So I bought some stuff because it won't be out, and after Halloween, they'll already have Valentine's Day stuff out. So, yeah, Shelly's going to have to teach me how to keep them alive. I don't know what I'm going to do. Don't water the tops of them. All right. Well, we'll be live later, probably more likely. We'll get a good time with Shelly, what works for her. This is our peak season. So, I'll be updating stuff, obviously, throughout the day. The next NHC update's at 11 a.m. There'll be a new track. All the models run around noon. European runs around 2. They're probably going to name our system out there now. Margot is the next name on the list. So we'll probably have breaking news. Margot, this is the red area right here at 90%. Margot. And that's a wrap. I think I'm going to have coffee with Mom. Okay? Okay. We'll see everybody later. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. As always, and thanks to all our great supporters of our page. If you could, make sure you follow their links. Give them a click. Give them a like. Check them out. They're big fans. Only have a few anymore, but that's that. So, and of course, we'll end it with our cruise. Had a couple new cruise signups last week. So, if you're a cruiser, come join us in March. It's a lot of fun. A lot of perks. Great rates. It's a week long. A lot of drinking. Family friendly. We'd love to have you. It's our 3rd annual, man. It's the most fun I've ever. I look forward to this all year long. So you get to hang out with Shelly and Phil and Julie and the kids and me too. All right. See you later. Bye bye.